investigative reporter Sara Westwood and Washington Times opinion editor and Fox News contributor Charles Hurt. Washington Times, Washington Examiner, the matchup the fans have been wanting all year. Sara, as you look at this Biden bailout, we can see the taxpayers are the losers. Who do you see as the biggest winners here with this debt cancellation, or we should say debt transfer from borrowers to taxpayers?
You know, this is the kind of idea that only sounds good to a bunch of young, affluent Democratic staffers who are sitting around a conference room trying to come up with something that can save Joe Biden in the midterms, because it's not playing well across the country. And I would venture to say probably not playing as well as those Democratic staffers thought it would. They've managed to do this in a way that's angered basically every part of their constituency. I mean, even people who financially benefit from this cancellation have expressed concerns about the way it's being structured. Democrats are essentially destroying what little is left of their credibility with the working class, because this does, benefit disproportionately the highest income, most educated, most well-off part of the population. And it incentivizes irresponsible financial behavior, right? For future kids who are looking at the decision of whether to go to college, they might not be as inclined to take a job or select a less prestigious state school to save money because they see this cancellation and that debt might not seem so real to them in the future.
Yeah, Charles, you can understand people being infuriated if they borrowed and saved and managed to pay their debts, if they didn't go to college because it was too expensive. But I also really am concerned that one of the great things about America is we have ways of correcting problems. We have kind of a self-healing process. This is going to ensure that nothing changes. Am I right? I mean, I don't want to be a pessimist here, but what is the incentive for colleges to stop charging more and more and more?
Well, this is certainly not going to do that. And it's, obviously, the big picture is it's fundamentally unfair. It's a reverse Robin Hood where Joe Biden is stealing from the working and the poor to give to the wealthy and future wealthy. And I think that's why you're seeing across the country people are just instinctively against this kind of thing. But to listen to the education secretary sit there and talk about how this is going to fix a broken system, and you're right, James, it's great that they recognize that the system is broken, but not only is this not going to fix the system, this is going to make it infinitely worse. Do you actually think that if the federal government shovels all of this money to these customers who are getting terrible products from universities, do you think this is going to lower the price of education? No, it's going to increase the price of education. If we wanted to fix this broken system where a lot of young people are saddled with hideous amounts of debt, then go after the colleges and universities and strip them, make them take not a haircut, but like a buzz cut, take their money away and give it back to students who got fraudulent educations and were taught that there are 8 genders or mistaught history or whatever it is that you want to say that they've done. But also, one last thing, politically speaking, I think it's really interesting to go back and to listen to people like Nancy Pelosi talk about the fact that the president can't do this without Congress. And then suddenly he's doing it without Congress. Well, you know what that tells me? Even Joe Biden doesn't need a Democratic Congress. And so voters everywhere should be aware, even if you're a Democrat voter, realize that you should vote against Democrats in November for Congress.
Thanks to both of you. Please stay with us. We're going to be right